Before I introduce you to your speakers today, I'm Sasha Wilson. I'm the Senior Commercial Director for Avalara. Very excited to be not only sponsoring the event today, but also co-hosting the event and introducing all the sessions and Q&As. For those who don't know who Avalara are, we're the specialists in tax. So whenever companies are selling globally and coming across tricky situations in terms of tax and cross-border trading, they generally come to Avalara to help. We can help companies understand where they have tax obligations, help them get registered, and we've got software that plugs into all manner of marketplace platforms, e-commerce platforms, billing systems to help make sure that the right taxes are being calculated in the checkout. So we are shortly going to be hearing from two presenters from eBay Ads. Please remember throughout the session, if you have any questions, please submit them through the Q&A button on the Totem platform. At the end, there will be a break before the next session. You'll have the opportunity to visit the supplier showcase, meet fellow attendees and ask questions there as well. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to two members of the eBay Ads team. We have Ellen Mikals, who's the Senior Product Activation Manager, and Rufus Bazley, who's Head of Seller Success. Ellen, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and then passing over to Rufus, and then we will hear your presentation all about promoted listings.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Sasha. And hi, everyone. I appreciate your time, and I hope you here to learn something new. I am Ellen, and I'm working very closely with product team. I've been at eBay for over 3 years, and Promoted Listings, it's one of the most exciting products I've worked at eBay, so quite excited to introduce that to you as well. Rufus?
And I'm Rufus Bazley. I'm the Head of Seller Success at eBay. And really what that means is I'm working with sellers to make sure that they're utilising promoted listings to the best of their abilities and making the most from it and being successful as a result. And so today we're going to introduce kind of promoted listings in the product portfolio. And then over the course of this session, we're going to be talking about a quick introduction to eBay and its commerce solution. We're going to be looking at promoted listings product portfolio and what kind of options are there for you. We're going to be looking at promoted listings standard, promoted listings advanced, and promoted listings express. So taking you through each of the products and how to get started with them. So let's start off by having a look at kind of eBay as a commerce platform. So eBay offers sellers the ability to grow their business with little barriers to exit. And it's really important that you realize that we don't compete with our sellers unlike some other platforms. So we're not kind of holding inventory. And as a result of this, our success is really your success. So we're really in it to make sure that you're getting as much from the platform as possible. So eBay is where the world goes to shop, and it really is. We've got 152 million active buyers on the platform, and around 1.5 billion listings globally. So it's a pretty substantial marketplace. And then the eBay marketing toolkit. So across the eBay, when you're kind of selling your products, you've got lots of tools available to you. You've got multi-buy kind of listings, you've got order discounts, you can run sale events, and you can push offers out to the buyers. And promoted listings really sits at the top of that. And it's when you're looking for visibility and looking for velocity in sales, promoted listings is really your first port of call to make sure that you're kind of getting in front of those users. Okay. And then just as a recap, so before we get started with promoted listings, just a reminder that there's no kind of silver bullet to making yourself successful on the eBay platform. You really need to create the perfect listing still. So when you're setting up and adding your listings to the site, you need to make sure you're putting them in the right categories. If you're selling trainers, there's no point in appearing in the wrong place. You want to make sure that if someone goes to the trainers section, you're showing there. So make sure you list in the correct categories. You need to then give your listings effective titles. So you need to make sure that if you're selling red trainers, make sure that you use the words red trainers within those titles. Make them clickable, something that's interesting for the user to go through to. Okay, you'll need to write really good descriptions for your listings. Make sure they're informative and list all the benefits or the product features of the items that you're selling. And then photos as well. Like pictures say 1,000 words, so make sure you've got really good photos on your listings. You can have up to 12 images for any listing, so utilize as many of those as you can. Okay. Choosing the right listing format. We offer 2 formats of listings. So you can either have an auction-based listing or you can have a fixed price listing. So make sure you pick the right one to really get the most out of what you're selling. Choosing the best postage options is really important as well. We've all seen kind of listings where you go through and then kind of the postage is quite high. So make sure you check what your competitors are doing with similar products. Try to be as competitive as possible on this. Wherever possible, we obviously recommend free shipping and try and include that in the price of the item, but we know that's not always possible. But try to make sure that you're at least in sync with what others are doing within your industry. And then optimizing your listings for mobile. So the world is a very mobile place. Fewer and fewer people are using desktop computers these days. So I always recommend that you have a look on your mobile phones, take a look at your listings and make sure they're showing up right. Make sure your images look nice on a mobile device as well. Screen size is super important when it comes to these type of things. So do make sure you're checking across multiple devices. And then obviously as well, once you've got your listings all created, you then need to look at visibility and making sure that you're getting your listings in front of the right people. And that's really where promoted listings kind of comes in, and we can help make sure you're getting the exposure you need. Okay, so now let's have a look at the promoted listings product portfolio. And I guess it's really important to note as a starter that the promoted listings products are all there to help drive visibility. Okay, they're all there to help increase the sales velocity and help you sell more across the platform. And then they're also designed to be self-service. So they're there and available to you. So you can just jump online and get started whenever you're ready. And they're easy to use as well. Or we like to think they're easy to use. Few clicks and a few kind of settings and you'll be off and away and getting started. And we'll talk to you about that later on in this presentation. Okay. So just as a reminder, the promoted listings portfolio is kind of expanded out. So last year when we were at Tame Bay Live, we spoke to you about promoted listings, which is now referred to as Promoted Listings Standard. And the important thing with this to note is it's a low risk, easy to use advertisement system, and it gives you exposure across the entire eBay network. So that's fantastic. But then last year in September, we launched Promoted Listings Advanced, and Promoted Listings Advanced is really when you're trying to target specific keywords and you want to appear in that #1 position right at the top of search, and it gives you the budget and the keyword control you need, and that's Promoted Listings Advanced. And then in November last year, we launched Promoted Listings Express. And this is the first time you're able to promote your auction style listings, and it works on a flat fee model. So you know exactly what you're going to be paying right there when you first start doing it. And then just as a reminder, Promoted Listings is available to all sellers who are above standard or top rated and have enough account activity. Okay. So when should you use the different products across them? So what are they best for? So let's start off with Promoted Listing Standard. So Promoted Listing Standard is a low risk product, and it works on a cost per sale. So you're only paying if an actual transaction happens. So if someone clicks on the ad and goes on and purchases that item, you'll pay a percentage at that point. It's only for fixed price listings, and it gives you exposure across the entire eBay network. So it's great for exposure and visibility. Promoted Listings Advanced is a cost per click model. So you're only paying when someone clicks on the ad as it's seen at the top of the search results for the keywords you've selected and placed. Okay, it's fixed price. You set the bid that you're willing to pay for that click. And it gives you that exposure for that top position in the search results for the keywords you selected. And then Promoted Listings Express it's for your auction-based listings. It offers simplicity and discoverability, and it's for auction-based listings. And again, it gives you access to the similar listings carousel on the listings pages. So it's nice and viewable as people are looking to make a purchase. Next slide. And over to Ellen to talk to you a bit about Promoted Listings Standard.
Brilliant, thank you. So we've looked into overall promoted listings, what are the products we have available, and as the next step, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into each individual product. So I'm starting with Promoted Listings Standard. For the ones who are already perhaps selling on eBay, just a year ago, it was called Promoted Listings, but now the same Promoted Listings product, it is called Promoted Listings Standard. So what the product is, when you run a campaign through Promoted Listings Standard, you get visibility on over 60 placements across the whole eBay network. And here are a few examples where you would find Promoted Listings Standard campaign. So campaigns appear on search results, as well as view item pages, and as well as checkout and many, many more. So really the benefit here is you are giving a very big exposure to your listings once you run a campaign. What are the key benefits? It is a risk-free model. And what we mean by risk-free is that you don't pay if your item doesn't sell. So if you run a campaign with Promoted Listing Standard, a buyer clicks on the ad and it doesn't buy your listing, you're not charged anything. So you're still getting visibility, but that doesn't cost you anything. So the visibility is the part that we're trying to highlight here quite a bit, because what promoted listings do, they allow your listings to be seen quite frequently to the buyers. So you really want to give that visibility to your listings that you are trying to sell. If you're not entirely sure on how to run a campaign, we do have a guided setup offer. So when you land on eBay internal advertising platform, we call it Seller Hub, you have an option to go through a tour where we guide you what steps you need to take if you wanted to run a campaign. And once you run Promoted Listing Standard campaign, if you're not entirely sure what ad rates to choose, we have suggested ad rates. So that's a very good starting point if you kind of new in this world and you just want to use for a few listings, use our suggested ad rates and then adjust as you go. Once the campaign is live, we do have detailed reporting. So you can download the report as well as you can see campaign performance live in the dashboard. And you can look at the metrics, and by running reports probably on a relatively regular basis, you can fine-tune the campaign and make sure it's successful. So let's think about more benefits. It's really easy to switch on and off a campaign. You're in complete control. If you run a campaign and if you're not getting the result, you can switch off or pause at any time. It doesn't require any additional creatives. So what we do is we take the listing that you have created and we put it in front of the buyers. And if you wanted to automate the campaign, we also have an option to do so. If you don't have time to remove and add the listings to your campaign, just use automated campaign option and we do it on your behalf based on the rules that you set. I'd like to think about promoted listings a little bit further than just the listings we are promoting. Aside from getting free traffic, you're actually building your brand awareness. So think of if you are a buyer and you search on eBay and you constantly see the same brand, that actually helps buyers to remember your brand, and perhaps they're going to add you as a favorite seller. So the next time they go on eBay platform and they want to find a particular item, they are likely to look at you first and then search elsewhere. The long-term benefits is also increasing organic performance. So in addition to getting a boost to your promoted listings visibility, your listings that are not promoting, and we call them organic, they are getting visibility boost as well. So it's a huge benefit for you when you run standard campaign. So let's take TekReplay as an example. It's one of our top sellers who are specializing in selling refurbished Apple branded products. So they run a campaign for over a quarter and they wanted to measure what's the outcome of it. They have seen 43-to-1 return on ad spend, and they were extremely happy about it. And they've also seen of just under 200% increase in sales. they've done really, really well. And I think there's a lot we can learn from sellers like that. So we do think that you have an opportunity to do the same. So when you use Promoted Listing Standard, what should you consider? First of all, we've said many times, make sure the listings are good quality. So Rufus was saying, what are the things you can do to make those listings good quality, good pictures, images, or the listing title? I'd like to think of putting yourself in a buyer's shoes. So if you're a buyer and if you go on eBay and you search for an item, and if that item doesn't have a good enough description, you're more likely not to buy it because you might think that you don't fully understand what this listing offers. So just put yourself in a buyer's shoes and look at it in that way when you set the listing. Once you chose the quality listings you want to promote, promoted listings increase the coverage. So as I say at the very beginning of my presentation, you saw all of those placements across the whole eBay network. So an ability to boost the visibility of your listings is a huge benefit here. And if you want it to be competitive, Promoted Listing Standard is for you. If you have only a few items and you don't want to sell them anytime soon, perhaps it's not the right approach. But if you have a huge amount of inventory, and if you're in a competitive landscape in categories like electronics or fashion, there's a lot of items on eBay in those sort of categories. So you do need that extra competitiveness and boost visibility when you get a chance to promote a listing standard. So when we run campaigns, we've noticed that sellers see twice as more sales when they run promoted listings standard campaign versus not having the campaign live. So how do you get started? Very simple. You go on the marketing tab, you go on advertising dashboard and click create a campaign. Once you create a campaign, you land on this page. And this page on the left-hand side, that's where your options to create a promoted listing standard campaign sit. So you have several ways. You have a simple, bulk, or automated. It's just the different campaign times of creating a campaign for promoted listing standard. And once you choose an option that is right for you, what you have to do, choose the listings. Again, choose the quality listings and select an ad rate. An ad rate is a percentage of the item's final sale price. And again, you only pay if the item sells. And once you choose the dates you want to run the campaign, you simply click launch and your campaign is live. So what are the top tips? Once again, and we're really repeating this quite a few times because it's really important. There's nothing better what you could do than create a really good quality listing. This is your only opportunity. And without creating a quality listing, even if you promote it many times, buyers might not buy it because they just don't get information that should be there. And you build a campaign momentum. Don't start the campaign for a week and then switch it off because you think it's not performing. Give it time. As any other campaigns, it really needs time to learn and to understand and to give you enough visibility to see that benefits. Use suggested ad rates if you're not entirely sure where to start. And whilst you run the campaign, optimize. Make sure you remove or add the listings based on their performance and always look at reporting. It's there for you to understand the metrics. Now I'm going to pass it back to Rufus.
So that was a great introduction to Promoted Listing Standards, and now we're going to talk you through some of the features and the way to get started with Promoted Listings Advanced. Okay, so just as a reminder, and I'll keep saying this, but Promoted Listings Advanced is really about that #1 position at the top of search. Okay, it's all about getting you there. We know that a lot of sales initiate from that point. So being able to get yourself into that position will definitely help with increasing your velocity as you're trying to sell more of your products. So visibility and control. So Promoted Listings in Advanced is all about, as I keep saying, that top of search, but it gives you enhanced budget controls. So you're able to set the amount you want to pay per click and the daily budget you want to spend. So you're really in control of how much you're targeting to spend on each given keyword. And then the keyword control as well, you can get as granular as you like on it. You can go phrase match, which is kind of an open kind of term, and you can go and kind of use that as your sort of fishing net approach to be able to catch kind of a wider spread of keywords. Or you can get super granular. If you're selling red Nike shoes, for example, you can put in red Nike shoes, size 11 as an example, and focus right down on that keyword. And again, you can set the budget that you want to pay per click and the maximum amount you want to pay per day for that selection of keywords and products. Okay. So when Promoted Listings Advanced has been used, there's been lots of different kind of sellers using it, but the Perfect Part managed to increase their sales by 15% whilst they tried it out during the beta phases. So they saw a great return. They saw a return on their advertisement spend of 5-to-1, and they saw an increase in their daily sales of 66%, which is fantastic. They also noticed, as a result of buying that position one, that they saw an 86% increase in their overall kind of click-through rate, and their click-through rate is calculated from the number of times their listing was seen in the search results to someone actually clicking on it, and that meant that click-through rate went up to 8.5%. So they're really happy with the results, and they're seeing fantastic increase in their daily sales as a result of it. Okay, so when should you use Promoted Listings Advanced? It's when you're looking to get kind of an additional boost in your visibility and ultimately your sales. So when you're there and kind of trying to drive more exposure for your listings, it drives visibility for new trends. And there's some really good examples of people utilizing this. But in the later part of last year, there was the film Dune kind of came out, and one of our sellers who sells books was promoting kind of for the keyword Dune as the book, and utilized Promoted Listings Advanced to access that top of search during that kind of peak season for them, as it were. So as you notice trends, you can then use Promoted Listings Advanced to achieve greater visibility. And then you can also use it when you need control as well. So not only do you have the ability to add kind of phrase match or exact match keywords, you can also utilize it to then kind of fine tune and kind of bring things down using negative keywords as well. So you can unmatch from particular ones that aren't quite so good. So you get that great level of control that allows you to be able to fine tune your campaigns. Okay. So getting started with Promoted Listings Advanced. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the create a campaign, and then you need to select the correct type. So you're going to select the Promoted Listings Advanced option, which is on the right hand side. Okay, and then setting up the campaign is just a 4-step process. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set your daily budget and select your dates that you want to run the campaign from. We obviously recommend setting up the dates for an unlimited, so it doesn't expire anytime soon, and then you don't have to keep going back in and kind of redoing it, and it just leaves it to continuously run. You then need to select the listings you're going to promote, and as we keep talking about, quality listings is the key, making sure they are products that people are looking for and are going to be interested in, and they're competitive in the marketplace as well. So pick the right products and make sure you're using Promoted Listings Advanced in sync with those. Choosing your keywords, making sure that you're relevant and specific. There's no point in showing up for red Nike shoes if you've only got blue ones in stock. So make sure you're picking the right keywords to utilize when you're kind of setting up your campaigns. And then once you've got it all set up and ready to go, hit the launch button and away it goes. Okay. So following our tips for Promoted Listings Advanced, always promote high quality listings. Again, that high quality message, making sure that they're relevant and kind of set up to the best of their abilities. Okay. Review your suggested keywords and supplement them with additional ones. You know your products better than most of us. So go in there and like think about what keywords people are going to be typing in to look for specific kind of listings, but also utilize the suggested keywords that we're kind of providing for you. That will really help with making sure that you're appearing on keywords that also have search volume as well and be able to help with driving that velocity. Okay. Using phrase match keyword targeting, you should definitely consider negative keywords. So phrase match is very broad. So if you're selling Nike shoes, maybe you're showing up against Nike shoes when you don't have size 5s in stock anymore. And maybe you want a negative match against kind of size 5 Nike shoes as a result of it. So make sure you're utilizing that report, and the reporting is really there to help you with being able to fine tune this, but make sure you're using negative match keywords as well as phrase and exact match keywords. And then make sure your bids are competitive. So obviously our tool provides you the information on suggested bids that we recommend setting, and we do recommend you work to those guidelines. It's down to yourself, obviously, to set that bid, but that will really make sure that you're competitive against others who are competing on that keyword and that your ad shows up when you want it to. And now Ellen's going to talk to you a bit more about Promoted Listings Express.
Okay, thank you. So we've looked at 2 products, Promoted Listings Standard, Promoted Listings Advanced, and now let's dig a little bit deeper into Promoted Listings Express. So this is our latest addition to Promoted Listings family, and this is where the Promoted Listings Express ads appear. You're looking in the screenshot or view item page of similar listings pages in the carousel right after the image. And what are the key differences of Promoted Listings Express? Because the product is very, very new, not a lot of you might be familiar with it. So the key difference here is that it's promoting auction listings. So it's for the first time, we have an ability to promote auction listings. Products that we spoke about of Promoted Listings Standard and Advanced, you can only choose fixed price listings to promote, whilst Promoted Listings Express is for auction listings. So we've never been able to give this additional benefit to auction style listings. And because a lot of our sellers came to us asking if we have an option to do that for these type of listings, we've developed this product and actually launched only a few months ago. So still early stages and we're scaling as we go. So also the pricing is a little bit different. When we spoke for standard, it's cost per sale. For advanced, it's CPC. And for Promoted Listings Express is flat cost that you pay upfront. The reason why we've decided to take that route is because it's an auction listing, and it's very hard for us to calculate the final sale price and base a percentage of it because we don't know what the final sale price is. So that's why it's an upfront flat fee. Very easy. You don't need to calculate any ad rates, and you can either choose or not to promote your listings. And with auction listings and running a Promoted Listings Express, you're getting an additional boost of impressions. So you appear on your item pages, and that means as soon as the buyer is looking for a particular listing, you are there and your listing has an opportunity to appear in that section. Also, don't forget, because it's an auction listing, the more viewers you get, the more visibility you get, it is a higher likelihood of actually not only getting the sale, but also working towards those bids that you are after. So how do you get started? It's very simple, and I'm going to show you only 2 entry points that we have available, and we are scaling as we go. So if you go to your mobile app, and the option you have here is you list an item. Once you list an item, you land to this page where it says, hey, do you want to list an item? You click yes. And even here it says it will display fees, but on top of it, it says it's for free, so there is no fees. And then once you list an item, that's where Promoted Listing Express appear. So on the third screenshot on your right, you see an option of how much does it cost you, how long you run the listing for. And if you're happy with it, you just click to promote it. If not, you just click not now, and you just move on. If you're not an app user and you would like to promote using desktop, there is a section in creating a listing flow. So again, whilst you're creating a brand new listing, under Sell It Faster, sort of lower on your page, you will see Promoted Listings Express option. So where you would see Promoted Listings Standard, if it's a fixed price listing, Now, in the exact same place, you will see Promoted Listings Express if it's an auction listing, because that's the differentiation between the two campaigns. So again, if you're happy with it, you just tick the box and off you go, you're ready to promote your listing. So this is the end of the presentation. We walked you through all of the 3 products. I hope it's clear for you on where we stand, and we'd really be happy to get more of your questions.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you both, Ellen and Rufus, for giving us some insight there into the whole family of promoted listings, their standard, advanced and express. As you rightly said, there have been a few questions in. There's quite a few people interested in this, and I'll run through some of these. I think we have about 20, no, we've got about 10 minutes left, I think. So let's have a look. Should we use all promoted listings products at the same time? And if so, why? Can one of you take that?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and we get this asked a lot. I think it's quite, it might be a little bit confusing for sellers, because before we only had one promoted listings product. But the way I look at it now, we're giving you more options, and you can choose the type of campaign and the product that works for you. So the answer here is yes, you absolutely can use promoted listings on all of the products. And I would probably say just think of what works for you. When you think about standard, you're getting visibility across all of the placements. So is that what you want to do? Do you want to increase the visibility in many sort of user journeys that the seller is going through? Or do you want to access this top slot on search? And if so, then you go with Promoted Listings Advanced. And for Express, you really don't have an option, because it's the only way for you to promote auction listings. So you could choose and run all the campaigns at the same time.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for explaining that, Ellen. Let's look at the campaign setup now. And with regards to Promoted Listings Advanced, what's the best way to set up the campaign?
Okay, so I'll take this one. So really, when you're setting up a campaign on Promoted Listings Advanced, the technique is to get super specific. So one of the common mistakes we saw in the early days when we were first kind of testing it out with a few of the sellers during the closed beta kind of phases was that they were kind of putting all their listings in together into a single campaign and kind of hoping for the best. And within there, you might get a mixture of, I don't know, trainers and trousers, as an example, in one campaign. And it just didn't work too well as a result of it. So really, what we're recommending you do now is take it down to as basic a level as possible, so get granular, not quite a single listing per ad group, but make sure if it's Nike trainers, try and keep all the similar kind of Nike trainers together in that individual ad group, and then get really targeted with the keywords. So using phrase match as kind of your fishing net, kind of casting it out, trying to collect a group of words that might ascertain and kind of draw in traffic. Okay, so kind of pushing that out there, but then start focusing on some more targeted ones. So like I was saying in the presentation, if you're selling red Nike shoes and you sell kind of size 11s, focus your keywords down on there and kind of pull in the exact matches there. So start off a little bit wider and get super targeted and utilize that reporting. The reporting is really there to kind of help aid you on what's converting, what's not converting. So make sure that you're utilizing that to add exact match keywords that will help draw in more of the sales. And likewise, if you're seeing keywords that aren't working for you, that are kind of costing you a lot of money but not resulting in sales, start using that negative matches to kind of get rid of those and refine it more. And I think this is the big difference between Promoted Listing Standard and Advanced. Is Promoted Listing Standard is very much a kind of an easy to use kind of product that kind of you almost kind of set and forget, whereas Promoted Listings Advanced is a bit more granular. You're going to need to invest a little bit more time in there, but again, it's kind of super focused and should be able to deliver velocity for you. Yeah.
Solid answer. Thank you, Rufus. That's brilliant. And there've been a few questions coming in. I'll just try and summarize them related to sellers' organic performance and how that might be affected by using promoted listings. I think, Ellen, in your section, you said that if you're running a promoted listing standard campaign, it can also increase your your sellers' organic performance. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and how that works?
Yeah, that's one of the benefits that not a lot of people realize, because what promoted listings do once you increase the visibility, you increase your sales. That means you increase the history and the sales history that you as a seller have. And all of those little bits and pieces are contributing towards your organic performance. So maybe a differentiation, what organic actually means, if not everyone is familiar. Organic is if you're not promoting a listing, obviously that listing still runs on eBay, and you see a boost in both organic performance as well as promoted listings performance. So I'd like to think of it, if you run your listings and you run, say, promoted listings standard campaign, your listings perhaps are not selling as fast as you would like to, but you do see increase in visibility in your organic listings as well. So you have to take that in consideration when you think about your return on ad investment, because the sales that you're generating through organic listings, it's a halo effect that you're getting quite a bit when you run a promoted campaigns. So don't forget that visibility always not only good for the increase of sales, but also for the halo effect that you're getting out of that. So increase in organic sales.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ellen. Another couple more questions, quite popular this session. So someone is written in saying they'd like to run ads on eBay, but they're not a seller on the platform. Can they still access promoted listings if they don't have an eBay account?
So you do need to have an eBay account if you wanted to benefit from promoted listings campaigns. There is no way around it, I'm afraid. You have to familiarize yourself with the platform. But that's why we kind of started to say from the very early of this presentation, you need to understand how to set up a good listing. That's the step one for you to run any promoted listings standard campaign or any promoted listings campaigns. So you have to have an account, you have to be a seller on eBay, you have to pass our, obviously, the criteria, because you do need to be either above standard seller or top rated seller. So only when you are those two rated sellers, you can then access promoted listings campaigns. If you are below standard and you're not meeting our sort of standard requirements, you won't have access to promoted listings. So do concentrate on the quality listing, and you do need to have an account if you want to run an ad campaign.
Got it. Okay, that's clear. Okay, and previously eBay had only promoted listings standard, and now you have advanced and express. Does it mean that standard is going away?
Okay, I can take that too. No, it does not mean that. What we really do is we give you more options. So we're not depreciating any of the products. They're there, and standard works as it did work before. There is no difference to the actual product. We just give you more options. So what we were saying before, you really just have to think, what is your goal? What is it that you want to achieve? Are you concentrating in increase the sales, and you want to maybe increase visibility across the site, then use standard, or do you want to target that one slot on search? And so yes, and the plan is to get your feedback. So we're very open to receiving the feedback from sellers. We always evaluate what works, what doesn't. We add features as long as we go, and we'll hopefully introduce more options for you for promoted listings. So it's not going away, but rather just the beginning of what's to come.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you so much, Ellen and Rufus, for your time today. It's great to see the evolution of this. Just having one promoted listings product last year, 3 this year. Who knows what's going to happen next year? So thank you so much.